Hello everyone, my name is Jason Long. This week we were supposed to discuss our research topic. I chose to write a research paper, and it's entitled The Reluctance of Georgia to Unite in Revolution and Freedom. As you know, if you've paid attention to my past videos, I'm a Georgia history teacher here in Georgia. So I try to relate my studies back to that so I can bring it into the classroom for discussion with the people I teach. So the reluctance of Georgia towards the American Revolution and towards the cause of freedom, Georgia was very much almost split evenly between loyalists and patriots. Georgia, by ratio, had one of the largest loyalist populations. And there were several reasons for that. One main reason, of course, was Georgia had just been established in 1733. Georgia was a very young colony, had not been around near as long as the northern colonies. So they felt a strong dependence upon the king, Parliament, and a strong allegiance towards Great Britain. Most of the people who lived there were either from Great Britain or they were only second generation being in Georgia. So they were very closely related to the mother country. Another reason is there was a strong economic dependence upon Great Britain. Georgia, from the beginning up until about 25 years into its inception, was not economically sound. They relied very much on Great Britain. Even the merchants along the coastal lines, they definitely relied on Great Britain for their economy. So a lot of people were worried, if we break that chain, where will they stand? Another reason for Georgia being very reluctant to join in the cause of freedom was the fact that Georgia's backlands, backwoods, and backcountry area, I guess you could call it, was still basically inhabited totally by the Creek and Cherokee Indians. There had been a massive amount of raids from both tribes into the white population, and the colonists of Georgia felt that they had to have Britain to defend them against these attacks. They thought if Britain wasn't there, who was going to protect them? And they didn't know. At this point in time, they didn't really know about a Continental Army or anything like that that could actually protect them. And they were worried that if they didn't have the protection of Great Britain, that they would be overrun by the massive Indian tribes that were still around in the colony during that time. And of course, lastly, there was a spiritual aspect of why colonial Georgians did not want to join the cause for freedom. Of course, there was many preachings throughout the Bible that talked about being loyal to the government, paraphrasing. So a lot of Georgians felt that biblically they should be loyal to the king, loyal to Parliament. Of course, in the Patriot cause, they also chose scripture, basically saying that they should fight tyranny. So it went both ways biblically, but there was a strong religious belief that they should remain loyal to the king, loyal to Parliament. And this came through very much in many of the ministers of the time. Savannah, of course, was the capital of Georgia during this time. And there were two prominent churches there, the Presbyterian Church and the Anglican Church. Both had pastors that agreed that there should not be the British oppression upon the colonists, but they were still very, very strongly loyalists. And those preachings and those sermons came out, and it split the population. Eventually, as we all know, Georgia, most of the colonists would be involved with the cause for freedom. They would go to fight. Georgia, of course, would fall into the hands of Britain through much of the war, even to the point of when the treaty was signed, in 1782, Savannah was still under British control. Most of Georgia was still under British control. But Georgians would go on to fight in other areas of the Low Country, especially in South Carolina. The creation of the Liberty Boys, especially in the northern parts of the colony, became very successful in recruiting people to the Patriot cause, which would eventually lead to Georgia and all the other colonies becoming their own independent nation. Thank you.